My husband divorced me by text message and emptied our joint account. Here's what happened next. My name is Elena, I'm 34 years old, and my husband divorced me by text message and emptied our joint account. He wrote, I'm leaving you and moving to Miami with my 20-year-old babe. I've already emptied our joint account. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I calmly replied, good luck. Because when he realized what I was about to do, it was already too late. Before I tell you how this ended, like this video, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. Trust me, you'll want to see how this plays out. Let me take you back to the beginning. Trevor and I were married for 8 years. 8 years of building a life together, of me supporting his dreams while mine sat on the back burner. When he wanted to start his consulting business, I worked double shifts at the hospital to keep us afloat. When he needed to travel for clients, I stayed home managing everything. I put my nursing career on hold, turned down promotions, even moved cities twice for his opportunities. Our joint account wasn't just some casual shared expense fund. It held my entire life savings, $127,000 that I'd carefully accumulated over 15 years of working. My emergency fund, my inheritance from my grandmother, even the money I'd saved from selling my car when we moved in together. Trevor knew every dollar in that account represented sacrifice, discipline, and trust. But apparently, none of that mattered when his midlife crisis hit. The text came on a Tuesday morning while I was getting ready for work. My phone buzzed, and there it was, 8 years of marriage reduced to a casual message with a laughing emoji. I'm leaving you and moving to Miami with my 20-year-old babe. I've already emptied our joint account. Don't try to find me. This is goodbye, Elena. The pain hit me like a physical blow. My hands started shaking as I read those words over and over. Emptied our joint account. The casual cruelty of it took my breath away. He didn't just leave me, he made sure I'd be financially destroyed in the process. He wanted me broken, desperate, begging him to come back. But here's what Trevor never understood about me. I'm not the type to fall apart in public. I don't scream or throw things or make dramatic scenes. I process. I think. And most importantly, I remember everything. So instead of calling him crying, instead of rushing to the bank in a panic, I sat down at my kitchen table with my coffee and replied, good luck. 2 words. That's all he got from me. You see, Trevor always underestimated me. To him, I was just the quiet nurse wife who handled the boring domestic stuff while he focused on his important business deals. He saw my calmness as weakness, my patience as passivity. What he didn't realize is that quiet people notice things. We remember details. We keep track of patterns and inconsistencies. And Trevor had been sloppy. Very sloppy. Let me ask you something, have you ever been so angry that you actually became calm? Like, terrifyingly calm? That's where I was. Drop a like if you've ever felt that kind of controlled rage, and don't forget to comment your location so I know where my supporters are watching from. While Trevor was probably celebrating his brilliant escape plan with his new girlfriend, I was going through our files with the methodical precision that made me a good nurse. Every document, every email, every bank statement from the past 2 years. Trevor thought moving fast meant moving smart, but fast and reckless aren't the same thing. Here's what my dear husband forgot in his rush to start his new life: the joint account wasn't actually joint. Not legally. When we opened it 5 years ago, the bank required a primary account holder due to some technical issue with Trevor's credit at the time. Guess who became the primary holder? Me. My name, my social security number, my signature on the foundational paperwork. Trevor had access to the money, sure. But he didn't actually own the account. I did. More importantly, Trevor had been using that account for his business expenses for months, mixing personal and business funds in ways that would make any accountant nervous. He thought he was being clever, avoiding taxes, keeping his business finances flexible. What he was actually doing was creating a beautiful paper trail of financial misconduct that I had documented meticulously. But the real nail in his coffin? The money he'd been funneling to his 20-year-old babe for the past 6 months. Expensive dinners, hotel rooms, jewelry, even what looked like rent payments for an apartment in Miami. All traceable. All documented. All coming from an account that belonged to his wife. By Wednesday morning, less than 24 hours after his triumphant text, I was sitting in a lawyer's office with every piece of evidence laid out like a prosecution exhibit. Bank records, business documents, even screenshots of his social media posts flaunting his new lifestyle. My lawyer looked at everything and smiled. "Elena," she said, "your husband just handed us the strongest case I've seen in years." The first domino fell on Thursday. The bank froze all transactions from the account pending investigation of the disputed transfer. Trevor's victory tour in Miami suddenly hit a major snag when his card started getting declined. The second domino was the IRS notification about his business audit, triggered by the suspicious account activity I'd reported. Turns out, when you mix personal and business funds as carelessly as Trevor had been doing, the government takes a very keen interest in your financial practices. But the third domino? That was my personal favorite. The restraining order preventing him from accessing any joint assets until the divorce proceedings were complete. Which meant his dream Miami lifestyle just became legally impossible to maintain. I know some of you are wondering if I felt guilty watching his world fall apart. Let me be clear, I felt nothing but satisfaction. This man looked me in the eye for 8 years, made vows about partnership and respect, then tried to financially destroy me with a text message and a laughing emoji. Guilt? No. Justice? Absolutely. If you're enjoying this story of comeuppance, smash that subscribe button and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love connecting with people who understand that sometimes the best revenge is simply letting someone face the consequences of their own actions. The calls started on Friday. First angry, then confused, then desperate. "Elena, what did you do? The bank won't let me access the money. Elena, someone reported me to the IRS. Elena, please, we can work this out." I let every single call go to voicemail. Each message was more frantic than the last. The man who had laughed at me was now begging me to fix the mess he'd created. The same person who thought he could disappear into the sunset with his teenager girlfriend was now realizing that actions have consequences. By the following Tuesday, exactly 1 week after his text, Trevor was back in town. Not by choice, mind you. His lawyer had advised him that fleeing the state while under investigation would only make things worse. His Miami dream girl had apparently decided that a man facing financial and legal troubles wasn't quite the catch she thought he was. Funny how quickly love disappears when the money does. The final twist came during our divorce mediation. Trevor's lawyer had clearly advised him to be conciliatory, to try to minimize the damage. But I could see the rage in his eyes as he realized how thoroughly he'd been outplayed. He actually had the audacity to accuse me of being manipulative, of trapping him, of planning this whole thing in advance. My lawyer simply laid out the timeline: Trevor's months of suspicious financial activity, his violation of our joint account agreement, his attempt to defraud me of my life savings, and his own documented admission of adultery via text message. Then she asked a simple question: "Mr. Trevor, are you claiming your wife forced you to steal from her and abandon your marriage via text message?" The room went dead silent. Even Trevor's lawyer looked embarrassed. In the end, I got everything. The house, the account, even damages for emotional distress and financial misconduct. Trevor left our marriage with exactly what he'd brought to it, nothing but his arrogance and a hard lesson about underestimating quiet people. But here's the thing that still gets me: I never chased him. I never begged or pleaded or tried to win him back. I just let the truth catch up. The same man who thought he could laugh his way into a new life learned that some bridges, once burned, take everything else down with them. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Trevor was living with his parents, working a minimum wage job, and still dealing with the legal fallout from his brilliant escape plan. His consulting business was gone, his reputation destroyed, his credit ruined. Meanwhile, I'd returned to nursing, got the promotion I'd turned down years earlier, and was finally living the life I'd put on hold for his dreams. Some people ask me if I think I was too harsh, if I should have just accepted the divorce and moved on. To them I say, he didn't just leave me. He tried to destroy me. He wanted me broken and desperate while he started his new life with my money. The only mistake I made was trusting him in the first place. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Would you have fought back or just accepted the betrayal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to tell me where you're watching from. I love hearing from viewers around the world. And if this story taught you anything about the power of patience and preparation, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life justice stories. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting mad, it's getting even. Until next time, remember, never underestimate the quiet ones. We're usually the ones paying attention.